So how do you choose what shipping method to use to get your products from your supplier overseas to an Amazon warehouse? Especially if you're new to Amazon or if this is your first time dealing with international shipping. In this video, I'll go over the most common shipping methods, what they are, and which one I recommend you use. Stick around. What's up guys? Crescent here, and welcome back to my channel where I share with you the best tips and strategy videos just like this one on how to succeed on Amazon private labeling. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. Let's get started. Okay, so before I get into it, I should explain to you how international shipping works. It's not quite the same thing as shipping something across the country to your friend. First of all, your supplier is going to package up your products once they've completed the manufacturing process. And then your shipment is going to go from your supplier's warehouse to a local port in their country, let's say China. From there, it'll either get on an airplane or container ship, depending on the way you decided to ship it. Once it arrives at their domestic port, let's say in this case the US, it'll either arrive at an airport or a seaport, depending on how you shipped it. At this time, customs will inspect your shipment. And what people don't get is that in this case, in this situation, it can cause delays. And this is also where your tracking number is going to appear frozen and not show any updates. The thing is that this is out of anyone's control, so you just have to wait it out. Eventually though, once customs releases it, you'll know because the tracking number will start to update, your shipment will continue on its way to the next waypoint. And again, depending on the shipping method you took, it'll either go to your freight forwarder, your house, or straight to an Amazon warehouse. Okay? So I hope you understand the process of getting your shipment to Amazon now and why it can take longer than you expect. It can be frustrating, but remember, patience is a virtue here. Alright, so what are your shipping options? The most common options that you're going to encounter while working with suppliers is EXW, FOB, and DDP. Now I suggest you grab a pen and piece of paper to write down what I'm about to say, or at least click the like button in this video so you can refer back to this in the future, because these shipping terms don't relate to what they actually mean. So that's why, in my opinion, a lot of people get confused with these shipping methods, especially if you're newcomers. Okay, so let's start with EXW, or Ex Works. This is where 100% of the responsibility of the shipment is on you. That means you need to arrange and coordinate the entire shipping process from the supplier's warehouse all the way to Amazon or to your house or wherever the domestic destination is. Okay? I don't recommend this method because it's a lot of work on your part, and if you mess up just one step, it can delay your entire shipment or cost you a lot of time and money. Okay, so the next is FOB, or Freight on Board. This is where you share the responsibility of the shipment 50-50 with your supplier. Okay, your supplier will handle the shipment from their warehouse all the way to your domestic port. For example, if it's a US port we're talking about for the US Amazon marketplace, at which point you will take over and handle the remaining arrangements to get your shipment from the domestic port to Amazon or your house or wherever you're sending it to. So again, your supplier is responsible for the shipment until it gets to your domestic port. So if we're talking about the US marketplace, then they will be responsible for the shipment until it arrives at the US port, okay? At this point, you'll be responsible and have to take care of the rest of the shipping arrangements yourself or hire a freight forwarder to complete the shipping plans, okay? So this method is better than the EXW, but I still don't recommend it going this route, and I personally avoid it myself. Okay, so finally, the method that I use and I recommend that you use also is DDP, or Delivered Duty Paid. This is where your supplier is 100% responsible for the shipment from their warehouse all the way until it reaches its destination, such as Amazon. This is where you don't have to do anything. Basically, you're just going to pay for the shipping fees, then sit back and wait for your shipment to arrive at your house or Amazon or wherever you've decided to ship it, okay? Generally, whatever the shipping fee is that you've negotiated with your supplier using DDP, it includes all the fees, including duty. So you really don't have to worry about anything since everything is already taken care of and paid for by your supplier. I highly recommend going this route as it's the least amount of work and headache on your part. Trust me. So now that you've got that figured out, The next question is, should you ship by air or by sea? There's pros and cons for both, and it depends on what your requirements are. For obvious reasons, shipping by air is going to be faster, easier, and it avoids some delays with customs, but it's also the most expensive. Shipping by air typically takes 4 to 7 business days, but you're still at the mercy of how long customs takes to release it. So it can take longer. But don't complain about it though if it does get stuck for a few days, because there's really nothing you can do about it. Shipping by sea is obviously slower, but it can save you a lot of money, which means you're increasing your bottom line or your profit margin, okay? So if you're not in a hurry, or if you're restocking your inventory and you can plan ahead for the shipping time, definitely take advantage of shipping by sea. Shipping by sea can take 21 to 45 days, so definitely be aware of that. And hire your freight forwarder though, because there's a lot more paperwork involved, and if you mess it up trying to do it all on your own, you can get stuck with a bunch of fees and get your shipment held at customs, and it'll turn into a real pain in the butt real fast. A tactic that you can use though, if you want your product into Amazon as soon as possible and start selling, but save a bunch of money at the same time, is to split your shipment into two. Ship a smaller quantity, like 100 units by air, so you can start selling ASAP, and ship the remaining units by sea, okay? Now, if you time this just right, you'll save a bunch of money, and your second shipment will arrive before you run out of stock on your first batch. So keep that in mind. It's a little trick that most people don't know to take advantage of. Okay, so there you go. I hope you have a clear understanding of how the whole international shipping works now, and how to get your products to Amazon from your supplier overseas. One thing to remember though is to always negotiate the shipping fees with your supplier, okay? I'll post a link to a website below where you can get shipping estimates so you can have a ballpark figure to work with. But be aware that shipping estimates can vary drastically, especially by air, because costs isn't just based on the weight, but also on the overall volume of the shipment. If you found value in this video, please consider subscribing and give it a thumbs up, or share it with a friend. I'd love to hear from you too, so leave a comment or question below, and if you haven't already, join my Amazon Facebook group. There's a link in the description. And as always, thanks for watching.